This October 20th through the 22nd, TFCon Orlando at Doubletree by Hilton Hotel Orlando at SeaWorld with special guests Bob Budiansky, Victor Caroli, Dan Gilvison, Gary Chalk, Richard Newman, Alex Milne, David Sobloff, and Casey Kohler. Meet mediocre YouTubers Bert The Stormtrooper, Deluxe Baldwin, Diecast Norbs, Engineer Hoist, Fire Talks, Ghost Prime, Cato's Collection, Patriot Prime, Rodimus Primal, and Treebot. If you see them, make sure and say hi. You'll most likely find them at the bar. That's TFCon Orlando in October. Be there!
I'd like to take a moment to thank my channel members. Thank you. It's continued support like yours that keeps this channel growing. And if you haven't already, please consider joining today. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert The Stormtrooper, and today I'm really excited to show you something I've been working on for the past week, and that is going to be my very own design for a 3D printed floor extension for Origins Snake Mountain. So if you ever got the opportunity, like myself, got to play with the original Snake Mountain as kids, it's no surprise, it's no secret that the interior of that playset was kind of hollow. There wasn't really much going on the inside of Snake Mountain. Most of the play features really were on the outside, with the exception of the microphone and the moving mouth and whatnot. There wasn't really a whole lot going on the inside. There was a trapdoor with a net, and that was about it. Nothing else there. So the Origins playset has addressed that to a point. They've really added some fun features. You've got a much better working trap door now that goes into a cage that's mounted over here, and you can take that jail cell, you can remove it, you can clip it over here, or you could put it anywhere else, really. You've got a floor now up here for this side. You've got a weapons rack, and you've got the throne for Skeletor. You got a nice place for the ladder. You've got the flip down acid, or the pool down here with the monster. So they've really done a good job of adding stuff to the interior of Snake Mountain. But when you remove the cage, it occurred to me, when you remove this jail cell from under the trapdoor, if you were to place it over here where I have it now, or really anywhere else, I like to put it, my daughter and I, when we play with it, we just kind of put it off to the side, makes more room for the interior. It really kind of leaves this half of Snake Mountain very, very bare. Still empty shell, kind of bare bones. You've got the platform here, and then there's really nothing left after that. So it kind of makes you wonder, what was the point of the heroes fighting their way up to this gate and making it in the gate, and then there's really nothing there. Argument can be made that's not really the entrance. The entrance to Snake Mountain is supposed to be a secret entrance. That's what that's for. You can make up all kinds of stuff for it, but the reality of it is, and when it comes to the toy itself, there wasn't really anything going on over here. So I came up with this, and what this is this is a floor extension, kind of like these steps that are designed to slide into the same spot where the cage slides into. So now this is the second time I have ever designed anything from scratch on my own. So I've been working on this. This is actually the second print that I've done on it, and I'm going to be making a third because I'm still tweaking my design. It's not quite where I want it yet, but where it's at now is it's in a place where I can really show it to you, and I'm really happy with where this is going, where I've gotten so far and where this is going. So what I've done, this is my first print, and it's something like this. So I've replicated the top of the cage here so that this would slide in to the existing floor and the trapdoor would still work. And then the idea was to make that and make it an extension and have some steps leading down to this floor over here, so that there's some kind of a playability going from one side of the mountain to the other, and ways to really kind of transfer figures from here to here, that kind of a thing. So so that was the whole idea. Now this was the first one. It came out a little smaller than I had hoped for. So what I did is I added just kind of made the steps a little steeper, because with this original one, this step was sitting way up here, so there was still a big gap over here. So I made them a little steeper. to match with this side of the floor a little better. I'm working on maybe extending this and curving it out some, but if I do that, it exceeds my print surface, so I'm going to have to break this down into multiple pieces. Another issue that I had when I printed this one off is that you notice the kind of like these rocky scales that I put on here, they weren't as pronounced with my first print. So I made them thicker, more pronounced. And the issue that I ended up running into is with the steps, with these scales being more pronounced, when I slid the floor on here, it hit where the scales were at. So this would actually not slide into place where I wanted it. So I ended up having to take a Dremel on this one and grinding down the scales on over here on the edge part so that it would actually slide under the floor where it's supposed to go. So that's something that I'm going to work on my next one so that everything is a little more level and I don't have to grind anything down or anything like that. And then the other thing that occurred to me after the fact, after I printed this one, it occurred to me to make these hooks right here. So this one actually printed with the hooks. With this one, I just printed the hooks separately, and then I just kind of drilled and glued them into place just to kind of test it. This one actually printed with the hooks. And then I went to Hobby Lobby and I got some of this netting material right here. And I got about 1/8 of a yard of this for 49 cents, which is really, really a good deal. So with that, what that's going to allow you to do is you can take net now and you can attach a net to these hooks on both sides so that you have a net if you want to kind of recreate that original play pattern from the original play set. So let's see if we can get Spikor standing up here. And there you go. So now when we come in, we can bring it in a little closer, you can see that we've got these steps. And what I'm going to do is something I don't like to do. I'm going commando camera here. So now we've got the steps, or we've got rather that gate that comes out and it extends out into these steps, and you've got kind of that scaling going on right there. And after I printed this, I gave it a resin coat to smooth it all out, get rid of the print lines, and then just kind of used the same color matched purple that I did for the stalagmites on my waterfall. I used here to just kind of blend it in some and just kind of dirty it up a little bit and blend it to the floor of here. So we've got all of that going on, and then you can see the net down there. So if we come back here again, let me put my camera back in place here, and we'll back up just a little bit so you can see how this works. If we press the button, the trapdoor works the exact same way. Nothing has changed there. So if we press that button, both our figures fall. But there we go. You can actually even close this up, and we've got our trooper trapped down there in the net. So you can reach in there and you can get him out. And you can leave the net hanging. Me personally, I kind of like tucking it up here, and it just kind of stays. If I tuck it up under the trapdoor, it just kind of stays in place, and I kind of like doing that because it feels like more of a surprise. You don't see the net at first until the figure falls through, and then it's kind of like a surprise. There's a net in place there, so we'll do that again. And we'll bring Spikor up here. Let's see if he falls again, or if he that's another issue with making the spikes more pronounced. When they were a little flatter, the figure stood out here a little more solid. And now with the spikes, obviously, there's going to be some stability issues right there. So once again, we'll give that a shot, and we'll drop him. And there you go. He fell through that time. That's fine. Still reach up here, close that, and Spikor stayed in place. So very cool. I'm really happy with this project and where it's going. Like I said, I still got to tweak the designs on this some. Work on leveling this piece with the spikes so that you can actually slide this in and you don't have to grind it down like I had to with this one. Possibly adding a bit of an angle to this step here and kind of match it up to this floor a little better. And again, that's going to require that I break this down into 2 pieces and print it in the separate pieces, which is just as well, because that might actually help me with the print time. As it is right now, this right here took 2.5 days to print on it, because it's all one piece and there's so much support that has to be printed to hold everything together. This took 2.5 days to print. So again, it's the second time I've ever designed anything, so I'm still new at it, and so I'm still kind of learning my way through. But yeah, just There you go. He stayed in place that time. Spiker also did not fall. We can close that up again, and there you go. He's in that net. And I think that really adds a whole nother level of playability to this. If you take the cage out, which is what my daughter and I like to do, and just kind of set it off to the side, it really just kind of opens up the play set and gives you a lot of area to play with. So yeah, there you go. Like I said, I've been working on this for about a week now. Really happy with the results so far and what I'm getting. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Should I work on something like this? Is this something that you'd be interested in getting? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.